All right, let's jump right in. What if the internet wasn't just a place you visit, but a place where you could actually own a piece of it? Today, we're going to explore that exact idea, a really fundamental shift in how our digital world is being built.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we have to start looking at the internet through a totally new lens. We need a completely different layer of thinking about what a platform even is.
In the internet we all grew up with, Web2, platforms are destinations. Think of them like theme parks. You go there, you use their rides, it's fun, but you don't own a single brick. Web4 flips that script. It presents a whole different model, infrastructure as a foundation. So it's less like a theme park and more like a city grid. It provides the roads and the utilities so that you can build your own house, your own business, your own community.
And this, right here, is the core question we have to ask ourselves. Are you building in the internet, playing by someone else's rules on their property? Or are you building on it, with an actual stake in the property itself? That one little distinction, well, it changes the entire dynamic of power and control online.
So, this new foundation, it leads to this crucial change in your role online. You go from being just a user to becoming something way more powerful.
See, when you're just a user on an app, you're basically a guest, a visitor. But as a stakeholder in the infrastructure, you've got skin in the game. You have actual ownership rights. The whole goal here is to shift the internet's control plane, the levers of power and decision-making, away from these centralized corporate boardrooms and put them directly into our hands.
A lot of people think about Web3 and their minds go to decentralized money and apps. And that's part of the story, for sure. But this Web4 concept, it's about decentralizing the very ground everything is built on. And this whole philosophy rests on three huge principles. First, non-excludability. It's open like a public road, so no one can just decide to kick you off. Second, it's a foundation, not a flashy feature. It's the ground floor for everyone else to build on. And third, and this is a big one, decoupling. Your digital identity isn't chained to a single service that could just shut down or change its rules on a whim.
So where do we even start with all this? Well, you start with the most basic building block of any nation, digital or otherwise, your identity. How do you prove who you are in a world that you co-own?
It's called UID. That's Universal Integrated Identity Decoupled. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know. But here's what it really is. It's your digital passport. This is the root of trust, kind of like the foundational civil registry for this new digital world. And the most important part? It's owned and controlled by you, not a corporation. Now this is a profound shift. In Web 2, let's be honest, your identity is the product. Your data is harvested, packaged, and sold. With UID in Web 4, your identity becomes a private vault. You can prove things about yourself without ever having to open that vault and show the sensitive data inside. So how on earth does that work? It's powered by this incredible technology called zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs, and it's kind of mind-bending. Imagine being able to prove you're over 18 to a website, but without ever showing them your actual date of birth. That's what ZKPs let you do. It's a cryptographic method that lets you confirm something is true without giving away the information itself. It's the perfect sweet spot between verification and privacy. Okay, so you have your digital passport, you're verified. So where do you go? That brings us to the next layer of this whole infrastructure, Atrium, which is basically the digital town square of Web 4.
15 seconds. That's it. I'm not kidding. That's how quickly Atrium lets you deploy your very own, totally sovereign social network. It gives you all the Lego blocks for social interaction, feeds, groups, messaging, all of it, ready to go instantly.
And here's where the economics get completely turned on their head. Atrium operates on a 0% take rate. Zero. Think about that compared to today's platforms that can take a huge slice of creator revenue. This model means you keep 100% of the value you create. You only pay for the basic operational costs, pretty much the digital equivalent of keeping the lights on. So what this really does is it democratizes community building itself. Instead of being one of billions of users in a giant city owned and operated by big tech, you now have the tools to build, run, and truly own your community's unique digital town square. But look, for infrastructure to be real, it needs more than just passports and town squares. It needs the equivalent of administrative offices and physical roads. And this is where the full stack really comes together. This is the complete sovereign stack. We've talked about UID, the passport, that's the identity layer, and Atrium, the town square, which is the community layer. But supporting all of that are two more layers. You've got TRIVE, which is like the administrative back office, providing business tools. And then at the very foundation of it all, you have Arctic, the physical roads and power grid that make it all run. And this physical part is absolutely key to its resilience. See, the Arctic hardware layer isn't some massive server farm in one single location. It's a network of decentralized nodes, with people even hosting parts of it on small devices in their own homes. This physical distribution means the network lives everywhere and nowhere at the same time, which makes it incredibly difficult to censor or shut down.
So after looking at all these layers, identity, community, the physical hardware, what's the ultimate takeaway? What does this massive architectural change really mean for you and me?
It all comes down to this. This is the fundamental paradigm shift. For decades, we've been digital tenants. We've been renting space on platforms owned by somebody else. Web4 is about changing the internet from a rental economy to an ownership economy. The power dynamic gets completely flipped. The user becomes the administrator, the owner, the ultimate authority.
And really, that's the question this whole technology leaves us with. The conversation shifts from just using the internet to what we will actually create when we truly own our own piece of it. So what would you build?